Hey there, welcome to the shop. We're still working on the little log cabin, but we're back in the 21st century today because all I need to do is make a small part of the cabin easier to do in the shop. We're going to make a hatch for the floor. But during the time period that our little cabin represents, screws would have been expensive and hard to come by. A more common method of putting the boards together would be to use an old method called clinching. It's not really that old because, you know, your grandfather or your great-grandfather would have done this. It would have been second nature to him. But it seems like in less than a generation, this technique has just about disappeared. So what we're going to do today is something called clinching. And it's where you drive the nail through and bend it over and then drive it some more and then almost form a staple back into the workpiece. It's not just bending the nail over. It forms a very secure connection, fastening, that is close to the strength of a screw. So let me show you how we do it. A little bit more. About like that. We're going to bend it over across the grain. We're going to drive it the rest of the way. And then we're going to take this hook right here and drive it back into the board. That's one nail, and it is, you can't pull it apart. That's clinching. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this technique to put all of these backer boards onto what will be the hatch in the floor of the cabin. Alright, you can see they're all driven down to about a half inch sticking up here, which should leave about a half inch sticking through on the other side, and they are. And so what I'll do now is to take my hammer and bend all of these over, again, across the grain. It'll work either way, but across the grain is better. Alright, I'm going to finish that and I'll come back. We'll drive them down and then we'll make the plate. Okay, we got them all bent over across the grain. And so now what I'm going to do is turn this panel over and pound the nails in all the way. All right, we're going to turn it over and form the cleat. Now I no longer need the prop boards. Another reason to use the clinch versus a screw is that with the seasons, this hatch is going to expand and contract. A screw would be a more firm fastener and it would not allow this hatch to expand and contract. Whereas with these nails, they're a little bit more forgiving and they'll allow this hatch to expand and contract with the seasons. All right, the only thing left to do is to pull out the temporary nails because they no longer serve a purpose. These happen to have the double head. I can pull them out. It wouldn't hurt if they were left in, if they were regular nails, but they really serve no purpose at this point. So that's clinching, and it is, well, I missed a couple back there. I'll go back and get them. But this is clinching. Very strong method of woodworking, for rough woodworking. You wouldn't do this on furniture, obviously, but for framing. You would use this anywhere on a homestead or farmstead where you needed to make a frame, a panel like this one. This happens to be a hatch in the floor of the cabin. You might use this on a gate, a feed trough, whatever you needed, so that it could resist the force of gravity and it put up with the stress. Maybe if you're building a horse trough or something, or a cow manger, they can put quite a bit of stress on something. So this is just a stronger way of building with nails that allows for the seasonal wood movement. Hey there, so we're back working on the hatch for the floor of the cabin, and one of the things we're going to need for the hatch to make it functional is going to be some type of a lift to pick it up out of the floor. And so I've come up with this little ring. This is nothing more than a cotter pin, but it would have been a very traditional way during this time to make a small hinge. This was used quite frequently to do it. So what we're going to do is, I've measured 1.5 inches back. I'm going to drill a hole. I'm going to use this old Stanley number 1555 breast drill. It was patented in 1908. Looks a little shabby, but it still works great. It's a ratcheting mechanism, 2 speeds, should do the job just fine. When I get the cotter pin through, I'll lay the circle over, mark around it, and then I'll take this small gouge. The idea being that everything should lie flush with the floor, so that nothing sticks up. You wouldn't want a trip hazard in the floor. Okay, so let's get it in the vise, and then we'll use the breast drill to drill that hole. That's the main thing. We're going to go ahead and center our hole with an awl so that the drill bit doesn't wander before it starts. This is one opportunity I get to actually use this. I've been waiting for the opportunity. Okay, we've got our hole drilled. I'm going to take the ring with the homemade hinge made out of a cotter pin. I'm just going to tap it down lightly for now, because all I need to do is to never waste, use up all of your pencils. What I need to do is to simply trace around this ring, inside and out, and I will take that gouge and carve this out until that ring lays level. When it's level, I'll then get on the back side, because I've got all this extra wood here. I'll have to carve some of this out with a chisel and just waste it away until I can bend this cotter pin to secure it so that it can no longer be pulled out. Okay. So this is going to be a little bit of a tedious process. I'm just going to take this and go very slowly at first. I may switch chisels. I'll go look in my drawer and see if I have something that works. It's going to work a little bit better than this. I only have to do one. This is not production work, so I don't have to get in a hurry. And I'll continue to do that until that lies flush, and I'll come back when I've made a little more progress. And there you go. The Forstner bit is not a modern invention. It's actually over 100 years old. This particular bit is modern. It's not an antique.